Hey guys, welcome to a Let's Play, and this is called Those Without Names. It's from the itch.io. They're the free games, so I thought I'd take a look at this one and see how it's going on. Alright, so I don't know if this is a man or a woman. The first thing I saw was Earth. It wasn't the small 2D picture they always show you in textbooks or TV. It was a huge and looming in the sky over me, and I immediately felt like it was falling into it. My body braced the dirt that supported my back, and I struggled to get my breathing under control. The planet I've never once seen with my own eyes filled the whole sky, so beautiful and terrifying it was alive at once. I'm going to turn this music down here. Alright. Alright, bit much. Okay. Alright, the planet I'd never seen once before with my own eyes filled the whole sky, so beautiful and terrifying and alive at once. Ah, this is a dream. My body shivered with nerves as I looked into the vast marbled surface of the earth and closed my eyes. Oh, that's really bright. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in the field anymore. The sterile room was almost purely white. There was nothing more than a bed. I lay on the corner of the room. At first glance, the room seemed impersonal and cold, but the spaciousness and the lack of clutter filled me with a sense of calm. I stared at the white ceiling, recalling the beautiful swirl of colors on the earth's surface. Face. Hello? A gentle feminine voice brought me out of my thoughts. I craned my neck to see a woman standing at the door. She looked to be in her 40s, and her serene face was slightly plumped and traced with the lines. Huh? When did she get there? I didn't hear her come in. My stomach twisted and my mind locked up immediately as I tried to think of something to say. The woman smiled, and the edges of her eyes crinkled into the shapes of crow's feet. Her eyes bothered me somehow. They were dark and unfocused, even as she was looking at me. Still, the warm smile on her face softened her eyes, and I pushed away my unease. How are you feeling? She supplied a topic, and I swallowed. Fine. I didn't really feel anything. I felt that floating, disembodied feeling in dreams, like as if my body wasn't here. I didn't feel grounded. I wasn't solid here, not in this place. Even with my ambiguous and safe answer, the woman seemed to know. She tilted her head and continued. What's your number? Excuse me? Your number. Everyone here has one. From the way she was talking, it didn't seem like she was asking for my phone number. Almost without thinking, I replied, It's 513-2518. The sequence of numbers surprised me. They held no meaning as far as I could tell, and I had no idea or when I memorized them. Is it an ID? It's not the same as my student ID. I don't even recognize this number, so why do I know it? The woman laughed, but it didn't sound unkind. Just the last digit. 8 it is. So you're 8. What? No, As I tried to protest and offer my name, my mind drew a blank. The only thing that surfaced in my mind was the sequence of numbers, clear and sharp. I'm 513-2518. Oh, I finished lamely. The dream was already going off to a bad start. The woman smiled. You don't like the number 8? No, you can call me 8. My number should be easy for you to remember. Mine is 7. Right before yours. She continued to talk, but it was all I was concerned about was the fishing my mind for my name. It's impossible. I can't remember it. Strange, I've never forgotten my name before in a dream. It's not just my name either. I don't remember anything else by that number. It's like my mind is too foggy to think. Let's go. I'm sure you don't want to stay in here forever. Seven continued to talk as we walked into the hallway. Remind me of someone else here? Would you like to meet him? Huh? The nervous knot in my stomach tightened up. I squeezed my fingers together, trying to relax. I don't like meeting people. I don't, sorry. You may have to. That's the only way you can leave this place. What? What do you mean, leave? You don't want to stay here forever, right? The only way you can leave is... Sis. Voice called behind us. I turned around. It is you, isn't it? He stopped and furrowed his brow, as if trying to remember something. I knew who he was at that moment I saw his face. Of course I did. He was unmistakably, undeniably my brother. The nervous knot in my stomach vanished immediately, and my body relaxed. Unable to stop the big smile pulling across my face, I rushed up and gave him a big hug. For reasons I didn't understand, there were tears of relief prickling my eyes. It felt as though I hadn't seen him in a while. You're here! Hey, it's good to see you too. He gave me a slightly startled hug back and frowned again. I can't seem to remember your name. What? How could you? I stopped him immediately. No name floated up in my mind. I tensed and searched my brain, but it was useless. Well, we're equal then. I can't seem to remember yours either. That wasn't what you were about to say. He smiled, but I could hear the hidden anxiety in his words. Seven spoke up lightly. Good. So you and Eight do know each other. I thought as much when I saw Eight's face. You two look quite similar after all. That's quite fortunate. It's uncommon for anyone to meet their loved ones here, especially at the same time. Her words fell off, but I couldn't place a finger on it. As I mulled it over, my brother spoke up. Where is here? There are many names for this place. You can call it anything you like. She smiled and tilted her head side to side. We won't be getting a clear answer from her. Why can't I remember my name? Or my sister's name? His voice had an edge to it. He never did like an open-ended answers. No one here does, Zero. Is that your number? I whispered to him, but instead of answering, he pulled his lips into a thin line. For a dream of mine, my brother was acting just like himself. Despite the tension in the air, I couldn't help but feel impressed at the level of detail. When you remember your name, you will awaken and leave this place. She pressed a hand under her eyes, rubbing gently as she smiled at us. Wait, please don't go under. How do we remember our names? By allowing yourself to remember. The one that's hiding your name is you. Just like that, she disappeared. Her colors bled into the air like wisps of smoke. She faded. Even if it was a dream, it was a little unnerving to see her disappear in front of us. Don't go under. I echoed my brother's early reply, and he frowned. They do that here. When a memory seizes you, you disappear like how she did. When it's through, you wake up here again, just not in the same place usually. It happens suddenly too, so you can imagine how hard it is to hold a proper conversation with anyone here. He threw one last glare over the space where Seven once stood and turned around. Let's go. I don't feel like hanging around here anymore. I followed him as he walked down the long, empty hallway. So, sis, when did you wake up here? I can't believe I ran into you. I just woke up now. Seven brought me here right out of that room. So that was your room. It seemed weird that I would own a room in a place that I just arrived at, but I nodded anyways. Even without an explanation, I knew that room would be mine and mine alone. My brother stopped in front of another door and tapped it. This one's mine, 5 doors down from yours. Why do we have our own rooms? My brother shrugged, staring absently at the door. I don't know. Wherever this place is, they're trying to be accommodating. Feel free to drop by whenever you want. Sometimes I sleep here. Sleep? You can sleep in dreams? If you feel tired, even in a place like this. It's not so much actual tiredness, but after a few rounds of going under memories, you want to stop thinking about things. It's not really like sleeping, but more like losing consciousness. I don't know. It makes more sense if you tried it in your own room. You've experienced a memory already? At my question, he frowned and looked away. Yeah, I guess. His answer was glum, and I wondered what kind of memory he recalled since he got here. It's like reliving something again, but some things are blurred out. He looked down, gripping his headphones tightly. When he spoke, his voice was quiet. I don't like it here, sis. What do you mean? It's just a weird dream. I added it in my head. Still, I figured my brother wouldn't appreciate me calling him a figment of my imagination. Not remember anything clearly, having to relive memories. The numbers for our names, it bothers me. I don't like it. Is that why you're calling me sis and not 8? Does it bother you that your name is reduced to a number? Why can't we remember our names? He sounds agitated. This is really bothering him. Let's see, should I call you brother? For now, let's stick with 0. Let's make another name up for you. Why don't we just come up with a nickname? There's no rule saying we can't have fake ones, right? How about Daniel? David? Mark? Peter? Sam? He shook his head at each name, smiling good-naturedly. You have terrible taste in nicknames. At least think of something cool. Oh, this one isn't contributing anything. Doesn't get to complain. His smile faded, and he laughed out a small sigh. It's no use, sis. I've tried already with someone here. Once you take your mind off the nickname, you immediately forget what it was. Seems like the only thing you can remember here is that number. That's why we name each after the last digit of our names. It's the only nickname we can keep. I see. I guess I'll have to keep calling him 0. It's the only nickname I'll be able to remember. Looking a little sour, he shifted his focus. So what should we do now? I thought since we're together, we could have remembered each other's names, but that doesn't seem to be the case. 7 said it's in our memories. Did you find out anything in yours? I've only been under twice or so. Nothing so far as I can tell. But I think a little clearer afterwards. You know how each time you fit a piece into a puzzle, it becomes a little more complete? That's what experienced memory is like. Fitting puzzles into your scattered mind. I try not to smile at his analogy. I didn't know I missed him that much. Had it really been that long since I seen him? So the reason I feel like I'm swimming in cotton and not remembering much is because I haven't started fitting puzzle pieces in my mind together. Yeah, that's it. Tell me, how much do you remember? I tried to think, but my mind was empty and unresponsive. I remembered a few things, such as being a student in a small college, my brother and my parents, but when I tried to think about recent events, I drew a blank. Not much. See, that's what I mean. You're calmer than I expected. Well, this is a dream, right? Even as I thought, I began to feel doubtful. My brother was acting too much on his own accord for me to be dreaming. At the very least, this wasn't an ordinary dream. But people can't share the same dreams, right? It's not possible. I think memories are more likely to happen when something reminds you of it. I see. My brother's anxiousness was rubbing off on me. Now I wanted to wake up too, even if it meant fulfilling the strange conditions of remembering. Let's start somewhere simple then. Thought for a while before pointing to his headphones. Like that, music. I remember buying that for you for your birthday. You bought this? He frowned deepened. I wonder if he'd really forgotten the noise pulsing out of his room every day for years before I bought him those headphones. Yeah, I think I remember now. You didn't even know what noise-canceling headphones were when you bought them for me. If it's anything by the name, it makes things less noisy, which is what happened after I bought them for you. Mom's house was a lot more peaceful afterwards. He laughed at my joke, rubbing lightly at his eyes. The motion reminded me of Seven before she disappeared. My stomach nodded nervously once again. Are you going under a memory? I gripped onto his sleeve tightly, feeling anxious. He noticed my tension and blinked rapidly, shaking his head as if to clear it. No, I can't leave you by yourself when you're looking that terrified by the mere thought of it. He messed my hair and I swatted his arm away quickly. Even as I complained, I felt a little relieved inside. Stop that. I wasn't scared, I was just wondering. It's weird seeing people disappear in front of me so suddenly. Sure, you're going to have to do it eventually. He paused, looking thoughtful. Speaking of music, I made a friend here. Want to come meet him? This was different from when Seven asked if I wanted to meet someone new. I was by myself when she asked me, and the mere thought of having to handle small talk with a stranger I barely knew felt terrifying. But now my brother was here. Wouldn't be left to handle people on my own. With that thought in mind, I nodded. My brother led me down the hallway into a different area of the building. There were several larger rooms, all looking like they were meant for various activities. I followed my brother into one of them, where a stranger was staring down at a keyboard. 13! Hey man, back from your walk? I want to know what you think about this. His eyes landed on me and I instinctively shrank behind my brother's back. Who's that chick? 8. I nodded at the new guy and tried to think of something to say. He seems friendly. Should I be polite? Or maybe I should be casual? But if I'm too casual, what if he expects me to talk more? My mind locked up, my stomach started to feel queasy. I was taking too long to come up with a greeting, and I felt myself starting to panic. I turned to my brother instead. I didn't know they had rooms like this here. My voice came out in a whisper, but my brother didn't mind. He nodded with a small frown. I didn't even know where here is. There's a lot of rooms like this in the building. I hear the rooms change depending on the first and last person standing in them. Has that ever changed for you? Sometimes. Doesn't look much different from this. I looked around the room with interest. It was filled with all sorts of instruments and equipment that I couldn't name. But there was a computer tucked in the corner. I immediately felt drawn to it and walked over. No internet, if that's what you're thinking. Why not? What's the point of being here then? The voice sounded more normal as I looked at the computer with disappointment. It's for music, silly. I looked at the wide console next to the computer filled with so many knobs and sliders that I felt a headache coming on. That's an audio mixer. 13 prefers the mixer because he likes to turn knobs, but the DAW does the same job just fine. Pretending to know what my brother was talking about, I turned my attention back to the computer monitor. I saw a program I didn't recognize filled with the rows of squiggly lines and buttons. That's the DAW. We're going through some sample packs, actually. My brother explained as I looked at it blankly. What's a DAW? You know, digital audio workstation. The program you use for producing music. Interested? I recommend the mixer, though. Once you're used to this one, the internal one just can't cut it. 13's voice came over my shoulder and I flinched and jumped behind my brother's back again. Whoa, sorry, didn't mean to scare ya. She's a jumpy one, ain't she? She's a bit shy. Didn't look that way when you guys were talking. Is she your girlfriend? No! We both immediately yelled in unison, taking 13 by surprise. Don't be sick. She's my sister. Oh, yeah. I see the similarities between you two. My bad. You two just get along really well, that's all. Yeah, we get that a lot. 13 grinned widely down at us, leaning his lanky form to one side of the table. I've got a ton of brothers too, but I haven't run into any of them here. It's pretty cool you guys found each other. I exchanged glances with my brother, and he shrugged. This is 13, by the way. We should really be calling him 3. Don't call me that, it's so uncool. Who the heck wants to be called 3? So you decided on the last 2 digits of your number instead? I spoke carefully, not wanting to come off more rude than I already had. To my relief, it didn't seem that 13 cared about my earlier silence. Yeah, see, 3 is lame, but 13 sounds much cooler, don't you think? Sounds unlucky if you ask me. I stifled a laugh. I had thought the same thing too. While I kept my thoughts to myself, my brother would voice his, and more often than not, our opinions were similar. Yeah, well, who asked you? You just don't know a good name from a lame one. Besides, there's already a 3 walking around here somewhere. Seriously? Doesn't that mean you just spent the last few minutes insulting their name? I listened to their banter absently. Looking at the computer screen where the squiggly lines of their music were, I remembered this sight before a long time ago. My brother's room. His computer screen looked just like this too. There was a strange sensation prickling up the back of my eyes, and I rubbed my eyelids. I suddenly felt so distant, like I was falling away from where 13 and my brother stood talking. It was the first time he composed something of his own. He fidgeted nervously as I put the headphones to listen. I don't know anything about music, I admitted to him, and he laughed. It's alright. You can at least tell me if you like it or not. He pressed play, and a soft lifting tune started. Aware that my brother was watching me, I closed my eyes as I attempted to shut him out. I wanted to give full attention to the song. The music swelled, its notes high and electric. Even I was inexperienced, I could tell it was more than good. My heart lifted together with the song, and I thought it must be what it felt like to fly. The beat resonated in me, and for a moment I thought I was beating in time with the heart. After it ended, I opened my eyes. What do you think? I saw him mouth to me as I grinned as I took off the headphones. It's amazing! Did you do this by yourself? He nodded, looked relieved. It's a little rough, so I wanted to know what you thought. I think it's great, but I don't know anything about music. Why didn't you show it to your friends? No. He was appalled at the mere thought, and I looked at him curiously. Why not? It's really good. Because I'm not sure of it yet. You showed it to me. You wouldn't make fun of me. My brother turned away, sounding embarrassed and uncertain as he talked about his song. I wasn't used to seeing this side of him. He's usually so confident and sure of himself. Right then, I knew how much this song meant to him. This wasn't the time to play around. No one will make fun of this. You think so? Yeah, and if they do, I'll smack them. I waved my arm around to the show of vibrato, and he relaxed into the playful laugh as he swatted my arm away from his face. You can't even look people in the eye. Trust me, I wouldn't have to lay one on him. He looked at the screen again. This time his face was less nervous and more helpful. You really think it's good? Why would I lie to you? Maybe I should bring Mom in to listen. God, no. Even if I did, she'd just call it noise. I rolled out of his way as he tapped on his keyboard back to his composer mode. As I watched him, I felt a mix of envy and pride. I didn't have the skills or motivation to make anything creative. It was amazing that he had already made his first song, while I just ate snacks in front of my computer watching videos on the internet. I was satisfied, but my brother was different from me. There were things he wanted to accomplish in a field far away from me that I would never understand. I felt a little lonely somehow, like I was being left behind. At the same time, I was so proud of him. He was passionate about his music, a drive inside of him that I quietly admired for a long time. I knew how hard he worked. We grew up together, after all. I would never admit it, but I couldn't be more proud. My brother composed his first song that day. Alright, guys, that's where I'm going to leave it now. We have to watch the next episode to see what happens when she wakes up. When I came out of my memory, I wasn't in the studio any longer, so give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give us a comment, and tell me what you like about this new game that we're playing. So, peace out, guys. Have a great time. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.